everybody. I'm Lane with Crafty Life Mom and I'm going live. I have a fun project that I want to share with you guys. I have been wanting to do this project for a little while now. I have some stuff sitting over here. I know you can't really see it in the camera, but this piece of wood, can you see that? This piece of wood is about 24 or 20 inches by 20 inches. It's a square piece of wood. It is a scrap piece of wood that is left over from a project that I recently shared on Crafty Life Mom. Hello, Janice. Hi. Hey, Sharon. So the project that I'm making today is a home decor sign, and recently I just shared a desk office makeover. I don't know if you've seen it on the page. It's actually down below if you want to go back and look at the previous things that I've done or shared. There was a navy desk that we converted for my sister-in-law's home office. And she got the desk off Facebook Marketplace very inexpensively, painted it, and we accessorized it up with some gold and like a couple of different little bins, and it turned out really, really cute. So it's down below if you want to see that DIY. And so when she did that desk, the back, you guys know what I'm talking about, the back of a desk, like any piece of furniture that you get that's made from MDF or particle board, you know what I'm talking about, and it's like the cardboard back to it, or even like a stiffer cardboard, almost like half the thickness of a clipboard. You know what I'm talking about. You can bend it with your hands if you really, really tried. Sometimes some bookshelves or desks easier than others. So she didn't necessarily like that, and because it's cardboard, you can't really paint it, because even though it had the wood look, it wasn't really wood, just for the backing. So what we did for that desk was we went to, I think it was Lowe's, but you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and we bought a piece of plywood, the thin plywood that is like this tongue and groove looking, like shiplap, what do you call this, board and batten, there's another name too. I can't think of what it is that I'm looking for. Anyways, we bought a piece of this, and Lowe's actually cuts it down for you. So we went to the store with her dimensions, and we had them cut it into the size she needed. Now, she needed a long rectangular piece. So when he cut it, what was left over was another like rectangle piece, and then for some reason where he cut it, for I don't know why it worked out, we ended up walking out of the store with two squares like this. So I told her, keep that because you're paying for it, and we can turn it into some different signs, some home decor stuff or whatever. And she said, fine, and gave them to me to make some home decor signs. So, and these are kind of cool because you can frame them. They're inexpensive, especially when it's scrap wood that's a nice size or a nice shape. You can keep them and like repurpose them into something. So this piece of wood I got free, and then what I did was I went and purchased separately for like $4 an 8-foot piece of trim, and it's this 1.5 or 1x2 trim, okay? And I pre-stained it for this video, and I have a couple options for this sign that we're gonna make, so you guys can help me. Just leave a comment down below like what your preference would be for this sign. So here's what I'm going for, okay? So it's a square, let me get in the camera. It's a square sign. I know my camera angle is so weird. Is that bothering you guys that I'm like slanted? Just tell me, because I know it's crooked, but I set it up like further away in the corner so that you could see like more of what I'm doing here. I don't know if that helps. And then what I have is this thing, and I don't want you to be intimidated by this, okay? This is just a simple I know it doesn't look simple. This is just a simple airstrike gun by Ryobi. I actually purchased this as a gift for my husband. So he got me the glue gun, right? I have my glue gun down here. He got me the glue gun, right? And they come with this, like, the batteries work for both tools. So he got me the glue gun, and then I think, I don't know, for a birthday or I don't remember what, I bought him the airstrike gun, okay? So I'm gonna use this today, and I hope that I'm good and safe and all of that, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the back of this a color, and I'm just using, like I said, we just did our wall that I have here behind me. So this is like leftover paint. It's just from, I think, Walmart. It's just trim paint or like a semi-gloss paint. It's like ready to use in the can white. There's no color. And it's just something I had in the garage. I was going to do some chalk paint for this sign. But like this right here, the big one I had, but I didn't want to waste the whole thing, like not waste it, but I didn't want to use the whole thing of chalk paint on my sign. So I'm just going to use this stuff that I have in the garage and like a cheap Dollar Tree paintbrush that I have, and it's just so I can get this thing coated in a white color. So I'm going to do that while I talk to you guys because this might take me just a little bit long, and I want it to dry so that I can get to making the sign part. So if you just hopped on, because I see we have some more people, if you just hopped on, I'm making a home decor sign out of a scrap piece of board that my sister-in-law had for her desk, and I don't even think she's on here. Somebody, you know her, tag her, because she needs to see it. Because I promised her with the scraps, I'd make one for her once I decided to do it. And it's been like a couple of weeks since we did her desk, so she needs to see this. But anyway, so this is a scrap piece from the back side of the desk. She used a piece of wood instead of the cardboard. And these were the scraps that were left over. And I mentioned this earlier, Lowe's will cut it for you to size. So when we walked out of the store, she left with like a long rectangle piece. And then we had these two pieces that we had cut into squares because I knew, oh, there's gonna be scrap. We can make signs. Why purchase from Hobby Lobby? Or, you know, everyone can get from Hobby Lobby. Which I have two things I'm gonna share with you that I got from Target and I got from Hobby Lobby that are options for this sign, okay? And guys, I'm not even like painting this super grand. I'm just getting the white paint colored on there, and I keep going over it like this, but I'm really just doing it so it will dry because this is plywood, you know, like it's just pretty plywood, no different than the plywood you would use to board up for a hurricane, right? Yes, it's got the pretty groove on it, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's soaking up the paint very well. So I don't have to worry about this being wet for too long. It's going to be okay. Like, it's gonna dry pretty quickly. Hopefully I don't get anything on my clothes, but that's okay if I do. It might come out, I don't know. I kind of like this t-shirt. So, but I'm just using like what I have. This is just some paint we had in the garage, white paint, and I'm just putting on one coat on this thing. That's it, okay? And the reason that we are using this tongue and groove looking wood is because it creates that farmhouse look, if you guys are into that look, of shiplap. And I know you know what I'm talking about, but that's like the look that I love in my home. I know a lot of you like that look. Very popular right now. It's been going strong for a few years. So, okay, so look, there it is. It's all white. I'm done with it. I'm gonna put my paint lid back on and move my paintbrush out of the way. And I'm just gonna use my hand to kind of hammer that down. All right, so while this is drying, I said earlier that I only purchased one 8-foot stick of this 1x2 board, okay? It was $4 and some change at Lowe's, and it came in 8 feet long. Now I did pre-cut it to the measurements of this board, okay? And I have 4 of these, and what I'm going to do is nail them on here to make a frame. So it's gonna be very simple. Now, what I did, and this is where it gets fun, or this is what I love. What I did was, in one of my trips to Target or to Hobby Lobby, I actually did both, you know, do both. I picked up from the the Magnolia line, 2 of these wreaths. So, hey Maria! Hello! Maria's my really good best friend, guys, so say hello to Maria. All right, so this is from the Hearth and Hand Magnolia line. It's a wreath. Now I'm gonna hold this up. It's still wet and drying, but I'm gonna hold it up and just think of it framed with this hanging in it, okay? This wreath was like $12. I believe that's what it was. $12.99. Okay, so now I have like what? $16 in this sign. You guys know that these signs, like, anywhere go from $50 and $60 and up, especially if you buy them from people, and I don't even have $20 in it, okay? So option number 1 is to do a wreath, and I have some ribbon back here, okay, and I can hang it and staple gun it from the back of the sign. So that's option number 1. I keep getting paint on the edge of my fingers. I probably should got a towel to kind of dry off the edges. Option number 2, okay, I went to Hobby Lobby and I picked up these letters, okay, and these letters spell the word home. And so what I'm thinking is, I know you can't really see it, but like I could lay out H-O-M-E on the sign. So I could staple these down or wood glue them down. And these were actually cheaper than the wreath. They were $2.49 and they were on sale. So I got them for 30% off of that, whatever that is. I can't do the math right now. But so I could spell out H-O and then M-E. So it's like, you know, that stacked look, okay? And inside this frame sign. So you guys tell me in the comments, do you want option 1 or do you want option number 2? I'm kind of thinking the wreath just because I think that's going to be fun and pretty, and you can add like ribbons to it for the seasons, and then this can be like a staple sign in your home, okay? So leave a comment down below. Tell me, do you want to see option 1, which is the wreath, right, hanging in the middle, or option 2, H-O-M-E in the black and the white? So let me see. I've got some people saying 1 and I've got some saying 2. The wreath doesn't seem like enough to me. Okay, so I understand where you're coming from. So just so you guys get a little perspective, this sign is not quite 2 by 2 because remember, this was a scrap piece of wood. And the lighting in here is looking kind of bad. I see like on the camera, it almost looks like it could use a second coat. Do you guys see that? It probably could use a second coat. But I don't think I'm gonna do a second coat. I'm just gonna leave it because it's kind of like that stained wash. I don't know. All right, so option 1, you guys, the wreath. In the center of this, with the frame and the ribbon, I totally feel like it's gonna be enough. I purposely bought this size because your standard wreath is a little too big, and I will show you. I have one on my barn door in my craft room, and it fully takes over the whole sign. Like, what's the point of having the back? Like, I want the shiplap to kind of show, and this is too huge. This is your normal wreath. I think this came from Kirkland's Magnolia wreath. It's just, to me, it's overbearing. It's a little much on here. But, hey, if you want big, you can go big or go home, I guess, right? But I felt like the smaller size was more appropriate for this size of the board. So, let's see. What's everyone saying? Okay, a couple option 1s and a couple option 2s. That's a really good idea. Thank you. Okay, so, home with the wreath for the O. Okay, so I have seen that. You guys have seen that where the vertical signs say H-O-M-E, but the O is actually a wreath. And I love that look. It's a pretty look. I see it everywhere. Even the Dollar Tree sometimes mimics it in some of their designs, or people use Dollar Tree stuff to mimic that. But I also feel like everybody has that same thing. And so I'm just trying to create something different that hasn't been done before, or that you're not quite as used to seeing. So what I'm going to do, let me grab a tissue really quick. I'm going to wipe down the edges. I'm going to start nailing in the sides, and we'll see what option we end up doing. Okay. The good news is that my kitchen is like right off my craft room, because if you remember, I built this wall, this base, used to be my old dining room. So I have my sink right there, but I don't really use that sink for cleaning. So like I said, this is a scrap piece of plywood. You can even use a scrap piece of plywood if that's what you have, and then paint lines, like swift gray, like highlighted almost lines in your sign to look like shiplap. So you just use what you have, guys, and create something new, okay? All right, so here is the board. And all right, so let's line up how these are gonna work, because one side is slightly longer than the other, and this was an 8-foot piece. See, that one's a little bit shorter, so I need to do this one as the long one. This was an 8-foot piece of board here, okay? And I'm gonna flip that one, because I got a little paint on it and it's gonna be seen, okay? So this right here was $4.50 for the trim. And then I brought it home, I cut it, and it was stained with Old Barn Living stain. That is like my new, latest, greatest favorite stain. And it is simple to do. Okay, so to get this lined up, I did a little test run earlier. I'm going to turn this, because that's the side that fits, and I have to get my nail gun to line up in there. And this is just a Ryobi, I'm trying to grab my glue gun. This is the Ryobi Airstrike technology. And let's see, hopefully I'm gonna do it upside down, just because that's where it lines better into my board. And you know what? I don't feel super confident doing it down low, so let me try it upward. I know, right? Me and power tools and live. That's kind of scary. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm kind of doing here. I'm framing it so it has this little bitty ledge, if you will. Do you see that? And the piece of this plyboard is really thin, so I want to make sure I drive my nail right into the side of it. Just like that. See, so now it's stuck. So I'm just going to add one to the middle here and one to the side. And it's doing pretty good. I didn't really shoot out the back, so that's good. And so now I'm going to flip it and add a long piece to the side. And the best way I can tell you to do this is to drive that nail first into the corner bow. And I didn't do any kind of diagonal fancy cuts. I just did square cuts, like easy stuff, okay? Nothing hard. So let me get this. Oh, got my nail sideways. All right, there we go. All right, and then we'll put it up top here, and I'll drive some more into the sides. Hopefully, I hope my battery's lasting. I might have to steal the battery from the glue gun. There we go. One. Oh, that one didn't go. Two. And three. And that will be the second one on the end. And then I'm just flipping it again. Same thing, short piece this time. And I'm just gonna get it lined up pretty even. And I think because one has to kind of go longer, I'm just gonna make sure that my long piece, I just got paint on my chin, my long piece goes to where my short piece goes. Okay. And this one looks a little off right there, but that's gonna be okay. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, and look, this wood is not perfectly lining up with it, and it's okay. Like, I'm not worried about it. It's totally part of the charm of the sign. So just know that it doesn't have to always be perfect, okay, guys? It's still gonna look great on the wall, and it's something you made, and it's definitely something you can't find at the store that everyone has. Okay, so here I go. I'm gonna do the top again. It would help if I was a little bit taller. Okay, there's one, two, and this will suck down into there, hopefully. 3. And then what I do is I'm gonna flip it to the side again and get one right here into the corner edge, going into that other piece. Oh, I missed it. That's okay though. It's gonna be fine. I can always go back and cut it. All right, so now I'm gonna just do my little top piece, and you guys are gonna see, like, there's a slight little gap on it. You see that? It's gonna be okay though. I have a trick for that. You could always fill it in with like a popsicle stick, like a fat one from behind. I know that's not ideal, but you could just see how the wood, when we took it from the store, was not cut, like it wasn't perfect, right? And that's okay, like I'm okay with it. It's gonna be barely noticeable. For a scrap piece of wood though, this is a super cute DIY that you can get. And that can probably be on the bottom, just to kind of mask from really noticing it. Or the side, however you want to do it. All right, one more, and it matches really good here into the middle. It's just that one piece on the end here. You can kind of see if I shoot one through, it doesn't quite get through, but you can see that it's holding it. I got it through there. All right, and so look, here is, from like far away, you can't even tell. This is a cute little sign. Okay, so what are we gonna do? H-O-M-E, here's the H, like on that, H-O-M-E, or the wreath. I'm kind of digging the wreath, guys. I'm really digging the wreath. So I think I had a lot of option ones. And I can change it. Okay, so I'm probably gonna do the wreath first and see what it looks like on the wall and change it if I think we need to go back with the home. Or I can always come back and do another home version with like real shiplap. I could do a piece on that if you guys wanna see it. So here is the wreath, and I'm just thinking, where's the, woo, look what I did. The best way is probably put that spot down at the bottom where it's not so noticeable. And then what do you guys think? Should I go with like a burlappy color ribbon or like a buffalo check? You know, like something farmhousey, year-round farmhousey. What do you guys think? Buffalo check? Or let me see what I have back here in my ribbon stash. I always have buffalo check, but maybe we just keep it simple and do something like, this is actually, I'm gonna do this one because I know you guys can get this. This is from Walmart, and it kind of goes really good with the Old Barn Living stain. And if you decide to purchase this stain, it's the weathered color. So I'm just going to do probably a little bit extra. And we're just gonna hang this wreath on there really nicely. Real thin little spot through the branches, like so. And let me see. All right, so let's do it this way. So that becomes the bottom. And tell me, what do you guys think? I think I'm gonna give this one to my sister-in-law because this is gonna match her house really well. Yeah? Do we like it? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tack it with some nails from the back. No hot glue here. Ooh. All right, there it is. And that's it, guys. Super cute, right? And this cost me, let me see, I had the wreath, $12, and the wood, which I'm able to get more than just one sign out of that $4. So not even like $16 for this sign. And it's crazy expensive to get something like this at the store. So just look around, don't be intimidated. You probably have a neighbor that has a nail gun. You could even hammer old-fashioned way, like hammering a nail into the side, and you can get Lowe's to cut these for you if you know your size. You just need to tell them. Remember, one side, the two sides are a little bit shorter, like ½ inch shorter than the longer sides, and you can make this for like less than 20 bucks. And you just need a very inexpensive wreath, some old white paint laying around, some stain, and maybe some ribbon. So yeah, super quick, super fun, and I thought I would share with you guys today this sign. And my like white paint is like already dry, and this is like semi-gloss paint. So yeah, there you go. All right, I will probably be popping over to my sister-in-law's house this afternoon to surprise her with it, and I'll take a picture and post it later here for you guys so you can see what it looks like hanging in her home. I just choked. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.